Our quick post-fight thoughts to Joshua Buatsi's debut at Boxer. Very underwhelming performance. Was just like, yeah, I was going to say I wasn't impressed, and I'm not impressed, but it was more a head scratcher because it was very uncharacteristic of how Buatsi normally fights. So Buatsi throws some good straight shots. It's a good jab, decent at long range. Seems to have good power there. Has a good, variety of shots which up the head and body quite well. And yeah, he was fighting at range in this fight. But Buatsi tends to fight in a very aggressive, ferocious type. He goes in there, looks for the jugular, looks to hit you hard, looks to get the knockout, looks to hurt you, looks to try and hit you and hurt you whatever way he can. In this fight, he was so pedestrian, so just going through the motions. It was bizarre. It was like a sparring session. It was literally the closest thing you'll see to a sparring session. That's all it was. It was like a move around the ring. I'm going to do this. You're going to do this. I'm going to do this. You're going to counter with this. Let's just keep doing this for 10 rounds. That's basically what it looked like. I don't know if Buatsi's injured, if he had a hard camp or a bad camp, if he had a hard weight cut or maybe jet lag coming from San Francisco and obviously being on the west coast of America. The time difference is a little bit worse than it would be if you were coming from, say, New York or Boston, somewhere like that. I don't know if maybe that was the issue. But Buatsi just looked so lackadaisical in there. It was I've never seen him fight like that. He's gone the distance before. He's gone the distance against Richards, and he went the distance early on in his career, I think once or twice. And even in those fights, he still had energy, he had a ferocity about him. He had, going for the jugular in those fights, but he didn't have any of that in this fight. I don't know what happened to him. And, he lost a couple of rounds in there, certainly. He just really underwhelmed in this fight. Really wasn't impressed. And if you're a boxer, you're Ben Shalom and you're Sky, you're thinking to yourself, right, I've took a Coley and I've took Buatsi, two guys that Matchroom have taken from the amateurs, they promoted over the last 6 years. They've tried their best with them. Now I'm going to be doing it, and I'm promising them the sun, the moon, and the stars. They're coming over here on their first fight, and they're putting in performances like this. If I was Ben Shalom, I'd be thinking, what the hell have I done? I would, because there's only so much you can do with a fighter if they don't maybe have the charisma on camera to be able to, pull at the heartstrings and get the fans on board. If they have an entertaining style, if their fights are just constantly, I gotta watch this guy fight, it can make up for it. It's neither with these guys. I mean, that fight really was just, it would put an insomniac to sleep watching that fight. It really would. I was watching the qualifying for the Miami Grand Prix because it was on just before this fight started. And I was watching that like, oh, this is good, this is fun, this is entertaining. And then I go in and watch this and I'm like, yep, he's jabbing. Not doing anything else, but he's jabbing. It was so unusual for Joshua Buatsi. With Coley, yeah, we've seen him stick the joint out before, but Buatsi is normally a lot better than this. So I wonder if something happened in sparring, in training camp, or jet lag, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it was not what I'm used to seeing from Joshua Buatsi, and he's been out of the ring, as I said, for a year. Me and Jamie spoke about this on Thursday night when we done the live together, where we were saying this is Buatsi's chance to make a statement, and he needs to make a statement. He really does, because he's been languishing just in the wilderness almost for the last few years. Raymond Ford was the fight Jamie mentioned, and myself included, where I thought, okay, now we can move him on. That was 4 years ago. He's done nothing since then. He's literally done nothing since then. And people could say, well, Yard's taken a couple of L's. Yeah, he's taken 3 L's against whether or not he avenged that. But he's taken 2 L's of world title fights. Joshua Buatsi could have fought Dimitri Bill. He could have. He didn't. He's fighting these guys looking just underwhelming against them. How much longer is he going to be languishing at this level before he decides to take a step up? And when he does take a step up, this type of performance, it's not going to set you up for the guys at world level, even the Joe Smith-Jewers of the world. So, not impressed with this fight. Buatsi didn't even appear to be taking any of the advice that Virgil Hunter was giving him. So I don't know if he even... Look, I don't think Virgil Hunter is the guy for Buatsi, if you ask me. I think Buatsi would probably be better off setting himself back up in the UK, maybe with a Shane McGuigan type character or someone like that. Someone who understands, biomechanics of a fighter, and you understand McGuigan's a good trainer. So maybe that would be the idea for Joshua Buatsi moving forward. But I was not impressed with him in this fight. Very underwhelming, and I don't really know what he's going to do from here. They were mentioning the fact that if this guy was in there with Callum Smith, who was the original opponent, Smith wouldn't have lasted, or the other guy wouldn't have lasted 5 rounds. I think if Yard was in there tonight with either of these guys, he would have beaten them both fairly handily. So a lot of work needs to happen with Buatsi. He needs to get out active again, and yeah, a lot of things need to change, an awful lot. I know he was out of the ring a year, but nevertheless, I expected a better performance. I think the fact that this guy he was fighting tonight wasn't particularly good. He was very limited. He was throwing very weak shots. He was throwing at Joshua Buatsi, so you could have afforded to take risks in there, and he just didn't. It was a run around the ring, move around, throw a few shots, go home. That's what it looked like to me. Not impressed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video if you could. Smash the like button as always. Hope you enjoyed the video, people. Peace.